ke mekgatlo ya banana jaaka Mabontle wa Miss Epic Botswana. Go sekaseka seabe sa bone ke elaleditse mothusa mookamedi wa Miss Epic Botswana Re Mafoko le Miss Epic Botswana 2024 Ketlhalefile Kgosietsile go re tlhalosetsa ka lenaneo le betshotla ke le dumedise ke lo amogele mo Botswana Television.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Go ke simolla hela ka Re Mafoko gore re tlhalosetse ka lenaneo le gore le butswang ke le bonye le tshwanetse gore le nne teng.
Santa ke ta leboga tšhono e ke filweng gore be ke lefano ke bue le Batswana. Botsadi ke bidwa Re Mafoko jaaka go setse go sa tswa go buiwa. Lenaneo la Tshepo Le Bontle ke lenaneo le leng gore le tile ka morwetsana o mme wa rona yo fano yo ke nang le ene yo leng gore ne le ene yo o neng a fentse ngogola a bata ka lenaneo le ka gore ka re dirileng kgaisano e ka teng ke gore ha o hetsa go henya o nna le lenaneo le leng gore wa lentsha le leng gore rona re le mokgatho re ka go emano ke ra bona gore re ka dira yang gore o diragatse ditoro tsa gago le dithata tsa gago tse leng gore o batla go di dira ya no lenaneo ke lenaneo le leng gore ya go nna lona la kgwedise thataro ya ka o sa tswa go bua mme re tebe re simolola ka moso re ka Setswana mo eleng gore tebe re go bitsa go le emisetsa mo Batswaneng go le tlisa yaanong e le ka se leng gore Batswana ba ntse ba se emetse gantsi ka gore mo maranyaneng re nna le tate dientsi ba ntse ba botsa gore le didimetse ga gona se le se dirang go tsamaya yaanong gone ka moso yalo ka nako ya bohera bobedi tebe re simolola tiro ya rona ya letsatsi gone ka go mabaleng a GUS grounds go Mamasiri.
Right, so gongwe ke tle ga go wena me Kgosietsile gore mo nakong ya gompieno re bona lenaneo la gago ke le Tshepo Le Bontle National Youth Tour. What was the inspiration behind? No tlhotlheditswe ke lenaneo le le rai.
Thank you for having me again. When I started with this project, I was looking at the matter at hand. GBV is a national crisis. As much as it's such a big issue, we see it every day. It's in our communities, it's in our families. We tend to overlook it. So I was thinking, how about I come up with an initiative that will benefit everyone? But mostly I was thinking that young people are still shaping their perspectives of life. So nikilibile banaba skolo, primary schools, secondary and senior schools. So, you know, those people are still not yet exposed to how life is outside. So I was looking at the fact that whatever you teach them at a young age, they tend to hold on to it. So when I thought of the name Tshepo Le Bontle, which translates to hope, in context, hope and beauty, I was looking at the fact that we are all seeing hope. There are a lot of young people seeing hope of a gender-based, violence-free nation, and we all see the beauty of it, and that's how the name Tshepo Le Bontle came about. So this project will be based on 3 pillars, which are the 3 E's, education, empowerment, and encouragement. But even though we are doing education, we are doing it in a more engaging manner that will keep the concept going and keep it engraved in their minds.
Right. Ke tlhaloganya gape ha ke tla ga go lena re tshepa gore mo nakong ya gompieno le ikaela gore la tologe le tsharabolele la hatshele dikolo jalo target ke tse 200 tse le gole le batla go di hitlhela la go hitlhela yang dikolo tse le gone gore kana maitemogelo a bana mo dikolong tse di harologane malaitsa lona sentente o itebagantse le la go hitlhela yang a dikolo tse di kana le gone gore le bue jaaka ntse a supa in the context of what is happening throughout.
So far, I would say we have started engaging what you call the gender teachers in the primary schools, and we have now received a lot of numbers. I'll just say around G West, tomorrow we'll be expecting more than, I think it's more than 20 students who are excited to come. And this is just, I think this is just two primary schools who wanted to turn up for the event. So now imagine now when we will be going around around nationally spreading the message. And going on or moving into the context part is that our target is to do like cell groups of youth against gender-based violence in the communities. For example, we get in a school, we form a cell group, or we form a I'll say in that school where students are going to be joining that initiative, and after they join, there is going to be monthly monthly empowerment seminars, monthly empowerment sessions for them, because like she said, the idea is to groom them from a young age, because once you can water or once you can nurture them from a young age, they will have the mindset and the capacity to understand certain things. So tomorrow they are very, very excited, and even one of the teachers called earlier and she was saying, so we ended up saying, you know what, just bring palong is still fine. Yes, sir.
Alright. O amile ka boripana ke ntse ke la go wena o amile ka boripana kgang yone ya gore morago la go tlhomamisa yang gore lenaneo le ga se an once off event tshwanetse gore morago ga tiro e tla be le dira ka moso a be le tswelela le setse le so a bo ra gore bana le ha ba ileng gore ba dire teng o supile jalo ka megato e tla be le dira. How are you going to ensure that at the end of the day it's a lifestyle they are going to be taught this on a daily basis?
We are going to ensure that everyone who has joined, we reach out to them monthly or weekly through their teachers or even through the contacts, because some of them are still children, so they are going to give us the contacts of their parents.
Yeah.
Yes, their parents. So once they do that, we are going to be able to reach out to them. We are going to be able to share resources with them, because we don't just want them to come and enjoy a once-off thing. We want to be able to check the track record. Is there improvement? Is there empowerment? So that next year when we come again for this type of talk show or interview or the news, we can be able to say we managed to reach out to 50,000 young people, and these are the results of it.
Right.
Yes,
most of the times they've experienced gender-based violence, they don't usually get to share their stories and get to be relatable with those who might even be listening out there. Maybe there are few who share their stories that are mostly people say, this is what I'm relating to. So in these programs, is there any, kind of way that young people are going to share their experiences, if at all they have been, through gender-based violence situations?
Okay, like Raymond said, our program will include the support groups in school. We make sure that we have safe spaces for children. They've witnessed this and they are also victims, so that they are able to support each other. They know how to help each other. They see what's happening. And I'm sure there is always a young girl at school, a young boy that is afraid to go back home because they know the situation at home. Witness a mama le papa, and it's not a good sight. So our program will include those support groups that will include ways to support bana ba ileng gore they are going through that, and also the guidance and counseling teachers overseeing those kind of programs.
All right, that's incredible. Now, molaetsa wa go hitlhellang ba ko bananeng ke molaetsa o ntseng jang ke dumela gore banana ba khatlhwa ke dio dingwe tse how have you packaged your message so that it can be attractive at the same time be informative, as we are talking about bringing them and getting them ba santse ba le banyane at the grassroots?
Molaetsa e leng gore re ya go neela banana kana yo le re setse re o packagile like you are saying is that it starts with you. That simply is the basic thing. It starts with you. Do you want to be that type of parent that you never had? Do you want to be that type of brother? Do you want to be that type of sister that you never had? And usually the core message is this that we always share with them, is that if you are going to be violent in the future, remember that you have a brother, you have a sister. How would you feel if someone was to treat your sister like that? How would you feel if someone was to treat your mother like that? So that is what basically, because at a young age, those are the things that you need to teach them. Like if someone is doing maybe standard 6 or standard 7, you just ask them, how do you feel if someone was to beat your sister? You understand? By that time when you ask it, you see the reaction that they wouldn't like it. So that's where now we are going to be focused. That is going to be the core message, that we need to ensure that it starts with us, and it starts with us at a young age. Yes.
Ke dumela gore banana ba le 42 ba ileng gore le le bone mo lenaneo le sentle ba tla bo ba dira eng ba tlhophilwe jang?
Most of our volunteers, as I would say, they have experience Some of them are psychology students, social work students, and they are actually spread across the country. They're there to make sure that this doesn't just become a city initiative. Some are all the way from Bomahala, Pebo, Serowe, and there was no criteria in selecting who joins the team. Everyone who was interested and felt like, no, this is my fight too, was welcome to join, and that's how we reached that number.
Okay. I'm also interested in knowing how have you trained them at the end of the day, because you want to go out with one voice, and they're coming from different aspects of life or different aspects of their experiences in their different fields. Ba ileng gore ke di counselor jalo jalo le irile jang gore le kgone go ba phuthela go golo gongwe hela, and then they go out with the same message even though they're in different places.
The truth is there hasn't been any training for them. What there is that we are all speaking one language, and it's youth against gender-based violence. So everyone is coming from a background, they know how it is where they are. So that is why it was very essential that we include all areas, and we are not limiting to batho ba nna mo toropong hela. They they understand the mentality, and they understand the way of thinking of those children around there. So that way we know that we are working in unison, and even though there is no particular training, we are there to achieve one goal.
I'm also interested in knowing gore batsadi le babeile ha kae ke utlwa le bua ka dikolo go eleng gore bontsi ba sebaka ke matitšhara mara bana ha ba tswa mo ditlelaseng ba go kopana le batsadi kana le bo eleng gore this GBV perpetrators ko malapeng. Where do we bridge this gap so that at the end of the day the message wa rona doesn't go out in discord? Onna mongwe hela gongwe motsadi a itemogela bona gore nya ngwana gongwe sa performance in the school is because of these experiences tala mo lapeng o ka ipuella ko ba ileng gore ka bona thuso mo go bona ko sekolo. How do you bridge this gap?
As much as Tshepo Le Bontle is focused on bana ba sekolo, it is not limited. Our program includes traditional leaders. We include teachers. We know there are a lot of teachers that don't know where to start because bana ba experience. So as much as it's an initiative that is to be grounded in schools, it allows us to be able to converse with batsadi through those kgotla meetings that we have also put in the program.
Right, that's incredible. Now, dikgwedi tse thataro di tla bo e le gore ke se le ikaeletseng gore la go dira le netehatsa gore le tsamaya le dikolo le tlhotlhoma jalo le isa molaetsao se e leng gore la go netehatsa gore ko bohelelong le ntsha maduo a dule sengwe se diragetse la go dirang so that you can see that there is results after all, because bontsi ba sebaka bangwe ba tle ba supe gore re bona dikgang tsa kgokgontsho ya bong tse e leng gore bontsi ba sebaka di repotiwa ke bagolo kana batho ba bagolwane mme bana ba senke ba ntsha lentswe ga re nke re utlwa mantswe a bana, mme most of the times they are also the victims of GBV. So after 6 months la go tlhomamisa yang gore mme dikgang tse di a utlwala bana lentswe la bone la utlwala on the issues of GBV.
We are going to have the special support groups, and in those special support groups there are going to be the guidance teachers who ba ileng gore bana ba ba tshepa as kana ngwana o toela go tshepa motsadi ya ka nantsa bua le nantsa motsa how are you, how did you eat something, ha go ntse o bua ya lo le ngwana malatsi wethe ngwana o simolla go bona gore you are caring, you care for them, khantelo khona go nna open. So as those teachers will be gathering up those information, they will be able to give us the data, or this is what is happening, then we ensure that if there is any justice that needs to be served, justice will be served. If there is any law that needs to be implemented, law will be implemented. Because the guidance teacher but help me, if they have the data, they will be able to share it with us. And also adding on to what you were saying about the 42 volunteers, we want to do with His Honor the Vice President of Botswana, we wanted the volunteers that after this initiative we do an exchange program, taking them out of the country to go and experience other cultures in other countries. For example, in the United States, those are one of the pipeline plans for the volunteers, so that people may see that fighting against gender-based violence, it has results. We are not just here to fight something that won't have yield or won't have results that we need tomorrow. So those who are volunteering right now, like she said, we are going to ensure that in the pipeline with His Honor the Vice President, we do an exchange program for them to continue impacting more lives. Probably some of them, when they come back now, they'll be having maybe short courses and all those things, like I just said. And when they come back now, you'll find that they have more impact like never before. Yes,
right.
sir.
Now we are wrapping up this conversation in just 60 seconds. Unfortunately, we are running clean out of time. But in Sephatlo sa motsotso ono mongwe le mongwe wa lona ra go henya ya ntwa re setse re bone gore lehatshe la Botswana has declared GBV as an epidemic, pandemic rather, mo lehatsheng la Botswana gore re wetswe ke siro, and there are ways that we should fight this, and ke bona nngwe e le nngwe ya tsone tse e leng gore ke se dilwantshang GBV to target ba e leng gore ke bana go dikolong, start them at the grassroots. Go a go re thusa ja at the end of the day to end GBV.
Okay, like I said, the young ones are still shaping their perspective of life. So the perspective that we want them to know is that violence has never been the answer. As much as you see it being normalized, it's not a norm, and we know how it affects our future. You know that someone is distraught because you were also distraught by your childhood. So that's how we plan on making sure that we achieve our goal of ending gender-based violence.
Most definitely.
ntwa e nna ke dumela gore re talala re hense nna se ke se dumelang ke gore Batswana re tshwanetse re itse, what I always tell people is that re tshwanetse re itse I'm your brother, I'm your sister. If we can have that mentality, re ya go tswella ene re ya go ya kgakala.
Right, betso tla ke le leboge jalo ka puisano ya rona ke dumela gore ka moso bana ba tla bo ba gorogile ka mmetela go tla go utlwa gore le ba tshwaretseng re tla be re ntse re se morago gore re kgone go utlwa gore tsamayo ke entseng jalo le morago ga kgweditse 6 re tla lo bitsa go tla go bona gore a maduo a ntse a tswa ke a lo leboga.
Thank you.
Wetso re ba khutlo teng ha puisano ya rona se ka ba tshwita thulaganyo ya tswelela.
In 2020, Botswana hosted its first GB training workshop for law enforcement officers through the support of SADC and EU. Botswana Police Service is charged with an onerous responsibility of ensuring public safety